Hello and welcome, I'm your host KB, and you're watching the Retrospective.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Spawn is a character which has always intrigued me, and honestly, until researching for this video, I was, and probably still am, pretty ignorant to the character's history. My only real exposure to the character was via the action figures released by McFarlane Toys in the late 90s, and also watching the 1997 live action film starring Michael Jai White. I remember renting the video as a kid and enjoying it, but it didn't leave much of an impression on me beyond that. Created by Todd McFarlane, the character of Spawn first appeared in the Spawn comic series, which was published in 1992 by Image Comics, which was a company that McFarlane helped found. The comic book was a big success, with the character and comic book series still going strong to this very day. Following the success of the comic, we would see the release of the film which I mentioned, as well as an animated TV series produced by HBO, which first aired in 1997. Unlike the movie, which gave a PG-13 rating in hopes of reaching a younger audience, the animated TV series took on the much darker tone of the comics and was created entirely for an adult audience, hence HBO being the perfect place for it. The series, titled Todd McFarlane's Spawn, follows protagonist Al Simmons. Simmons, a former Marine and assassin, is sent to Hell following a fiery death, and in hoping to return to his wife Wanda, he agrees to a deal with the entity known as Malbolgia. This deal sees him return to Earth as a Hellspawn, an agent sent by the devil to collect souls for Hell. Al returns to life to discover he is horribly disfigured and has also returned 5 years after his death. He also finds that his wife Wanda has remarried and had a child with his former best friend, Terry. Realizing he is unable to return to the life he left, Spawn retreats to the darkness of the streets. After some very violent conflict with some criminals, Al becomes aware of Malbolgia's expectations for him, and despite prompting from the demon clown, he rejects his duties as the Hellspawn. The series then follows Spawn as he battles evils from the human world as well as from Hell.
You don't just turn your back on your obligations. What? You think you're too good to be a Hellspawn? You should be down on your knees, thanking Malbolgia for the privilege of being a ranking officer in this Hell's army.
You should be down on your knees thanking me for not killing you where you stand.
While the storylines do cover some very dark themes, the thing that struck me about the series was just how much atmosphere and how dark the mood of the show really was.
I warned you, you fat piece of shit. Where's the little girl?
From the writing to the animation to the voice acting, the show is teeming with a dark, brooding mood that is unlike any other animated series I've seen, be it aimed at a younger or older audience. Story aside, the production alone is enough to pull you into this violent and seedy world. The visuals, along with Keith David's portrayal of Spawn, are the true highlights for me. To be honest, while watching this, I felt myself losing track of the dialogue or the story, as I was so engrossed with the show's dark visual elements. With most series that I cover, I usually like to talk about a show's intro and theme song. But Spawn is unique in that while there is no specific theme song here, we do get some very atmospheric music and agonized groans, which is set to some dark imagery, and that really helps set the tone for each episode. The voice acting is somewhat underplayed, but I feel is done so intentionally, as again it adds to the overall tone of the show. Keith David's portrayal of Spawn is brilliant, and he is a perfect choice for the role. He does amazing work conveying a range of emotion, even with limited dialogue, and he does a great job at giving Spawn a much needed depth of character.
You go to your mommy now. She'll take care of you. You're gonna be all right now.
While Todd McFarlane is known for putting his name over everything that he's created, and rightfully so, these opening live action sequences featuring him feel kind of like a vanity project, because the episodes, to me, the stories are good enough to stand on their own and make these opening sequences feel pretty unnecessary.
Do the things we do in this life screw you in the one that comes after? I think so. Spawn's learning that little lesson too. Oh, he'd like to make it all go away somehow. Pull out, hide, sleep it off. But he made his deal with the devil, and now the dominoes are already crashing down. And he's got nobody to blame but himself. And me. I'm Todd McFarlane, and I created Spawn.
To be fair, these segments did improve somewhat in the show's second and third seasons, as they became more visual with the addition of props and a dungeon type set. But for me, they still didn't add enough to warrant their inclusion. The show only ran for 3 seasons between 1997 and 1999, with the seasons being short at only 6 episodes each. Luckily, due to being an HBO production, the episodes have a bit more freedom in their running time, so feel quite fleshed out, running between 25 to 30 minutes each. The series was originally intended to continue for a 4th season, but the series was unfortunately cancelled, which is why the season 3 ending felt unsatisfying, in that it wasn't originally intended as a series finale. Plans were underway in 2004 to revive the series, but after a troubled development, the revival was also scrapped. Episodes were retooled into several animated movies as well, but I would suggest watching the original episodes to get the true viewing experience. Luckily enough, all episodes have been released on DVD and are still available for watching on HBO's streaming platform, HBO Max. Once again, thank you very much for watching this channel. Please go and check out some of my older content and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next episode of The Retrospective.